Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the channel. I'm Old Dead Man. We've got our latest It's Fixed quasi dev blog coming through, number 3. And we got a few interesting changes here. Most of them I don't consider to be that big a deal, but maybe some others do. So let's take a look at what we have. First up, they've fixed the turret angles on certain airplanes. Some of them include the B6N1, B6N2, and B6N2A. Now, I had to read this and reread this and then look at the pictures for quite a while to figure out what in the world they were trying to say here. So bear with me. This is my interpretation because it's written confusingly. So it looks like the defensive turret has a hinge on the lower machine gun. Now, I'm taking that from the fact they're highlighting in this picture here that you're seeing this turret, and there's a hinge, or they called it a pendulum mechanism on it, that allows it to rotate out of the turret and engage targets that are in what would normally be the turret's dead zone. So that is expanding the capabilities of this particular line of aircraft significantly. This is new documents they've just found and managed to interpret. So, awesome. That'll be a lot of fun for the Japanese air players at the lower tiers on those. They've also expanded the angles on the Tu-2 turrets, so that's another positive for that. However, the Su-2 TSS and the SM-91 will no longer shoot through the fuselage of the aircraft to engage targets, so they've restricted those angles as well. All good, positive patches. I wish I could absolutely interpret what they're trying to say in this paragraph right here about the upper defensive machine gun and the way it extended, but this is my best interpretation. There were some issues with keyboard control moving around in the game interface, but they were sometimes unpredictable and some buttons and functions weren't available. They fixed some of those so it is now more consistent and are more useful for this control type. And they accidentally patched out the keyboard layout button on the login screen, and so you couldn't log in if you had it set to the wrong language. Well, they fixed that. That's back, tells you what's going on. That indicator will make certain that you're using the right keyboard layout. And the fourth big item, let's get my item numbers correct here. The M3A3 Bradley, I noticed early on that it wasn't allowing me to select between the two rocket types, but they fixed that. You can now go with two different types of rockets and choose between them during battle. So awesome for them. That's awesome. Good patch there. I did look through the rest of the update notes here, and a couple items caught my eye. Nothing in particularly huge. The M129 grenade launcher has a bug that prevents it from overheating fixed, so prepare for it to overheat on you now. The M26A1 has had an internal part of the mantlet thickness corrected. It was 203 millimeters. It is now 25.4. So keep an eye on your M26s. They may be a little bit easier to kill now. The Sherman 5 Charlie for Italy has had its weight reduced from 37.1 to 35.3 tons. That was calculated with an additional armor that was not added onto the model. The Panzer 35T has had its gears changed up. It now has an increased number of reverse gears to 6. That makes it so it can go forward and backwards at the same speed. So, all good for it. And those are the things that caught my attention that weren't listed in the main part of the bug report that the developer blog. So what do you think? Is this useful information for you? If you did find it useful, please give me a thumbs up on this video, and we will see you in War Thunder. Thank you for making it to the end of It's Fixed number 3. You'll find that right here is the previous It's Fixed number 1 and the It's Fixed number 2. So you can check out what other major changes have been happening in the last couple of weeks. Have a good one.